Hi everyone, my name is Mahi and welcome back to Close Encounters, the podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Close Encounters. My name is Mahi, and for today's episode, my guest is 15 years old and she's in school and she's also writing alongside, managing school and trying to build that balance between all that annoying work while also keeping your passion alive. So, without further ado, let's welcome Jannah to our show. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, how are you doing
Hi.
today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, yeah. So what's been going on with you? How are you feeling today?
So, I actually just came from a very long ride and I did
Oh,
not have any sleep, which is why I just said good morning.
understandable.
Yeah.
Where did you go? What took you so long?
We actually went to Ras Al Khaimah just as a family trip and it took way longer than expected.
Oh my God, was it fun? Did you like enjoy and
It
everything?
was really fun, yeah.
Awesome. So how was your summer been? Have you started school again?
Yeah, my school started at August 25th actually. So
Oh,
for the summer
okay.
break, most of the time I was being very lazy because we didn't travel much. We just went to Oman for 1 week and the rest was just sitting at home. Because before the year ended, we had like a 3 month long period of just exams. We had the
Mm,
mocks, the pre-mocks, and the GCSEs like all together. It's like one line. So it was like a long break
wow.
from that.
So what did you do? Like, is there anything specific that you did to keep yourself sort of occupied and de-stressed? Like, did you watch shows? Did you sleep? What did you catch up on?
Honestly, I did sleep a lot for all the hours that I needed to make up for. I honestly felt like a corpse by the end of GCSEs. And also, I tried to do some stuff that would help out my career in the future, like
Oh, okay.
volunteering for different places, organizations, etc. So I just wanted
Uh-huh.
to feel a bit productive during the break.
Isn't it kind of frustrating though? Like you look forward to a break after working so hard, but then there's also like that other side of do things for your future, and then like you're basically still working during summer break, so there's not really a moment to kind of relax.
Honestly, I'm kind of mixed about it since the career I want to do is a passion that I really love and everything just
Okay.
aligns with it. So it's like I'm doing my hobby during break. I also give some time for myself.
Awesome. Okay, so what is this career that you speak of?
So the career I speak of is actually journalism. I want to be a journalist in the future.
Oh, nice. Amazing. So what are some things that, since you brought that up of taking care of yourself, what are some things that you do to kind of define self-care for yourself? What does it look like for you?
Honestly, anything that I've done which makes me more stressed, more tense in during exam period, I try to like
Mm-hmm.
stop that. And honestly, I also started restricting my screen time because that was like a really
Wow.
big factor to my stress.
Are you like much of a social media user? Are you like chronically online 24/7?
Most of the time, yes. But now
So you're
I'm
like
trying my
up to
best to
date.
reduce it. Up to date, yes.
So you're, yeah, up to date with all the what the kids call it these days, like brain rot stuff.
Yes, honestly.
Do you do you think it actually okay, do you think that it actually had an effect on your brain, the amount of time that you were spending on your phone?
Honestly, it did because I feel like when you're on your phone less, you're more creative. It's when you're
Mm.
bored that you get most of the ideas, just like when you're in the shower or like doing something that you know how to do.
Okay, so let's kick things off by talking about writing first because it's something that you're very passionate about. I am as well.
Yes.
So it's like both writers talking to each other.
Oh, in
So
sync.
yeah, instinct exactly. So this is so exciting. Like it's these days, at least, I personally don't get to see a lot of people who are writers, especially your age, because they just have so much struggle forming a coherent thought, and they outsource their work to like ChatGPT or something. So it's
Oh
really
yeah,
like
that's very
refreshing to.
common.
Mhm. It's refreshing to see someone as young as you kind of into writing. So how did it come about? Like, how did you get interested in writing first?
Honestly, in the beginning, I think it started before my preteens. It was in my
Mm-hmm.
childhood when I started writing imaginative stories. So I was a really big fan of fiction and describing things. And it was during my GCSEs I decided like I might want to take journalism. And when that confirmed, I decided that the creative story writing should just branch out into writing articles. So that's more better for me as practice for the future.
So what kind of like in terms of writing, what kind of content you enjoy consuming? Is it more like fiction, as you said, or also some real life non-fictional things?
Honestly, a mix of both because sometimes fiction stories just help you get entertained and it's kind of like an escape from the real world. And non-fiction just keeps you grounded, like, hey, you're here now, you need to focus here. So
So what was like the sort of first experience that you had when you shared your work with someone else, or when you thought like, I'm going to take it seriously and maybe put it out there for other people to see?
it all started when I wrote a story just for fun because I was really bored as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed it to my family. I was like, hey, I wrote this short story. What do you think about it? And then they all were really excited. They were like, this is amazing. How did you get to do this?
Oh,
And
okay.
it was something that randomly came, but I also have this consistent, like, great high grades in English, which also helped with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then onwards, my school, they also started to send competitions for story writing. So I started joining those as well, writing short stories, just so that I don't lose that touch.
Whoa. Are you someone who writes on Substack as well?
Substack only sometimes because I'm just starting to get used to platforms like that.
Oh, that's exciting. So, what do you think? What kind of sort of cause that you would like to bring out into the world through your writing? Like, what is it about your writing that you're trying to highlight?
Honestly, since my career is journalism, I was actually
Mm-hmm.
inspired by a quote from one of my favorite authors, and his name is George Orwell. And the
Ah,
quote is journalism is printing what's not popular, everything else is public relations. So the
oh.
quote basically highlights how journalism is not just talking about real life situations, it's also about empowering other people. So through
Mm-hmm.
my writing, I want to make sure that I can be a voice for the people that don't have one.
Wow. So, did you have the opportunity to sort of partake in any initiative like that through writing articles?
So for now, I'm starting to just write for different organizations, just some articles.
Mm.
For now, it's not very journalism like. For now, I'm
Yeah.
practicing the public relations part.
Okay. And what would you say as a reader, aside from like being a writer, but as purely as just a reader and a consumer, what kind of writing are you drawn to? Like that like really gets you excited?
I'm drawn into mystery and the plot twists, crime type of thing, where you have
Oh.
to investigate and find out what happens next.
Have you ever read any Agatha Christie books?
Agatha Christie, I've read one, but I've actually forgot it because I read it 2, 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. She's got so many of these murder mystery and like extreme plot twist kind of books. Yeah, there was a rumor that she faked her own disappearance or something like that. It was insane. Like it was
Was
really
it for a
fun, and
book?
she like made. Yeah, I think so, probably. And then she probably made a book out of it.
Wow, that's commitment, honestly. That's actually impressive.
Hmm. Do you have any authors that you look up to, or any authors that you wish to be like, or kind of emulate their work into yours?
Honestly, it's just one, George Orwell, because he is one of the
Okay.
most political writers I've ever read. He
Hmm.
loves speaking up about issues, and regardless if it's hidden through animals like an animal farm or different characters, he just makes sure that you are aware of what's going on.
So is like his most famous book, I don't want to mess it up, with 1984, 1884. Is it
Yes,
19 or 8?
1984, yes. Actually, no, I've only read the book because I feel like the book helps you be more creative. The movie just already
Interesting.
shows you how the characters like. But when you're in a
Uh-huh.
book, they're only
Hmm.
saying you the words and just fueling you a prompt so that you can imagine it in your head.
Of course, yeah. I think that's like the best when the imagination gets so intense, you kind of forget that you're reading and you're
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
actually in it. So
Yeah. It feels like
something, since
when we
we're,
direct a
yeah,
movie.
it's okay, go ahead, keep talking.
Oh, no, 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 that was it.
Oh, girl, I was like, you talking about movies and I'm super interested now. Would you ever like write a script for a movie or something and then hopefully watch it come to life? Would you ever try something like that?
Honestly, I would try that, to be honest.
Oh,
Having like a
what would you like to
visual,
do?
since I like more of a mystery side, I might make a crime thriller script. Just,
Amazing. It's exciting.
yeah,
So like a murder mystery kind of just like the who done it kind of thing.
exactly. And maybe like a very insane plot twist at the end.
Oof. Wow. I feel like plot twists, I don't even know. You have to be just so insane to come up with the most ridiculous plot twist. I think one
That's
way to
that's
do it is,
true.
I think one way to do that, I feel like is really deprive yourself of sleep so much so that you just like it borders into psychosis. It just like borders into psychosis.
I think there could
Okay.
be healthier alternatives, but
You'd be surprised at how many authors have these like weird sort of things they do when it comes to their writing processes. Like start
Mhm.
a day with like a glass of Coke and then like just spend 15 hours straight writing and not socialize with people. Those are like the more intense, like
Yeah,
hardcore kind. Anyway, so since we're talking about writing, I want to say that people your age, would you say you've noticed, especially like the Gen Z, sort of the younger side of Gen Z, they struggle a lot more when it comes to expressing themselves or expressing themselves through words or forming like a coherent thought?
I feel like yeah, because it's while we're in this young age that AI has developed really quickly. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
even myself, sometimes I depend on it for my studies, honestly. And I still do have some coherent thoughts, but it is getting harder and harder as technology is developing really fast now.
And I think, do you say that when you consume a lot of content, like you said, you're trying to limit your screen time as well? The content you consume, do you think it kind of hinders your thought process? Because your brain is
It
just kind of like
does.
empty now. Yeah?
Yeah, it kind of does. Because I feel like our brain is adapting to the content that we're seeing or the situations we're seeing around us. And that's how people like behave very differently around you.
What is something that you've observed about like kids your age, maybe something in this arena or something completely different? What is something that you've really seen like a repetitive pattern in them?
I feel like a repetitive pattern is honestly, I feel like there is a loss of passion, to be really honest. Because
Ooh.
in my school, having a career other than a medical thing is seen as like almost very weird. So it was in 10th grade, we once got this career form. They just wrote the names of each girl in the class and then they asked for what career you want to do. And I was the only person that said something other than doctor, which honestly concerned me a lot. Sometimes I feel like, are people still getting pressured into careers, or is it the doctor passion just getting overrated, or is it loved more?
I think it's sort of maintaining that societal expectations of what people want from you. And I think that
Exactly.
definitely factors into putting it out there, like avoiding your passions and kind of living for maybe like what your parents want or what others
Yeah,
expect
it's
from
like the
you.
societal roles, they probably will never change. It doesn't matter which generation. It feels like that.
It's very exhausting. It does get very tiring
Yes.
after a while. So would you say would you say you're like very English and humanities kind of smart rather than science and maths kind?
Definitely would say that. It was
Oh, okay.
honestly the way I found out was in, I think it was grade four, fourth grade. We had a
Mm-hmm.
parent teacher meeting, and that's when my English teacher told me, trust me, she's never going to go for maths or science. And I felt like that teacher was very true with that.
Wow. And so what did your parents think when they heard that?
Honestly, I love my parents because they're very supportive about what I do. And they've also
Mm-hmm.
seen how I've had this like ongoing passion for English, writing, just content creating, etc.
Exciting. Okay, so now that we're
Yes.
on the topic of school, let's move on to sort of school and social aspects of it. What is
Mhm.
school like for you at the moment, academically speaking and socially speaking?
So, academically speaking, it's going kind of well because it's just the first 2 weeks. The icebreakers are going on. Also, socially, it's kind of weird because the friend group that I've been having for the past like 3, 4 years have all separated because now it's A levels, 11th grade, time to get serious. So, And also, most of the classes that I'm taking, actually all of them, there is a maximum of only 4 students in that class.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That happened with me when I was in the final 2 years of high school. In my English class, there were 3 people, including myself, because there were only 3 people who took English. And so yeah, it was a very intimate group of people. And so half the time I feel like you could just kind of do whatever you want. It made it easier to connect with the teacher, but then you could also just do whatever
Yeah.
you want.
She will have your
Exams were
laser
easy.
focus on you, honestly.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like half the time though I just fell asleep. I used to be kind of tired, so I
It
just
is
fall
tiring,
asleep.
honestly.
It is for sure. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah. So socially speaking, do you think that friendship is something that has definitely done a sort of 180 since maybe you came back from summer break and where you are at right now, particularly?
Honestly, it depends on the friend circle that you have. Because my friends were still in touch even though we have completely different academics now. One person is in college, another
Mm.
one's in an American syllabus, and I'm in a British syllabus. We still talk to each other. We make sure that academics isn't the only thing that we communicate about, just so that we don't go crazy
Mm.
towards the end.
So, what do you do to kind of connect with new people in this sort of new chapter of your life? Have you connected with any new people to call friends or anything like that?
Actually, it's really easy for me to connect because since birth, I am a very big extrovert. So usually, if I talk, I will not be quiet. And that's helped me a
Oh,
lot in having new connections this year.
that's nice. With like the age of social media and everything, and that like 15 is a very confusing age. Like you're turning 16. Back when I was a kid, I used to think, oh, 16 is like so cool. 16 years get so much attention and such a fancy age to be at because of the movies. Do you think that sometimes you have this sort of internal struggle with identity, kind of thinking like, who am I or who am I supposed to be?
Sometimes I do have that struggle. It may be because of age. And even if I have, for example, a passion with journalism, I feel like, what if I was something else? What would have happened? How would have my
Yeah.
life been differently? I usually have a lot of what ifs in my life
Hmm.
currently.
Oh, can you give an idea of one of them aside from like the journalism example you shared?
So I was thinking, since it's a British syllabus school that I'm in, we have a bunch of option subjects. You can change your career based on that, choose based on that. So usually
Mm.
there's the Indian syllabus where you just choose specific streams and you have your subjects based on that. So I
Yeah.
feel sometimes if I was in that syllabus, would I have taken the same path that I did now? Would I have been the
Ooh.
same academically as I am now? Would I have still been an extrovert? Like, I always have those thoughts in my mind.
Oh, wow. Have you had an experience with like CBSE schools before?
Actually, no, because since KG1 till this year, I've always been in the British syllabus. I'm adapted to it mainly.
Oh, okay, interesting. So I think CBSE is really hardcore. Like there's a lot of pressure that you have to deal with in between, so you just kind of forget about yourself after a while. So speaking of pressure, what is it that you do to kind of deal with the pressure of growing up and of work and just keeping your passion alive?
Most of the time, I make sure to at least have 5 to 10 minutes of relaxing. If I feel really burnt out, I'll just like get
Hmm.
up, just have a little tiny walk around the house, or just nap for a bit, just to make sure that I don't get way too tired, where like the quality of my work would just go down at that point.
Oh, that's understandable. I get it. So what is it like being a 15-year-old, like right now? What is it like for you?
It is very fun
Oh, okay.
because school just started, so I don't have my mind just fully focused on that. Right now, I am trying to go out with my friends as much as I can before A level starts to get serious and I have to stay at home and just study all day.
Is it what's something that you like doing with your friends?
Most of the time, it's hanging out. We always go buy food together. Sometimes try to diversify the hangout ways.
I feel like it always ends in just stuffing your face with food. Like the last
Exactly.
resort, just like eat food. It's
First
so
and last resort.
Exactly, yeah, for sure. And then you're just like, well, we'll do something different next time, but then you never do. You're just like back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think that when you're in a classroom, do you think that a classroom stimulates that creativity or it's found when you're outside the classroom? What's your opinion on that?
It can be found in both because sometimes a classroom can also help you get new ideas. Since you're in a room with a
Mm,
bunch of people that have a bunch of different opinions, you can also create your own ideas, share them, get some new ideas.
yeah. But do you think that the sort of thinking is kind of restricted or it's bound by certain pre-existing ideas?
It is bound by pre-existing ideas. Sometimes you need to link your own ideas to like things in the past. You
Mm.
kind of have to make sure it's connected so that it makes sense and it's logical.
Oof. So, do you think that maybe the adults around you sort of, do you think they fully understand what it's like to be maybe your age or be at like the stage of life that you're in right now? Do you think that they kind of have a full grasp at it, or they just kind of like brush it off?
Personally, I feel that nobody can ever have a grasp of your age like that tightly because you are experiencing your age as you go on. You don't really
Mm.
have like a full plan of what to do because sometimes life is very spontaneous.
And so, do you think that there's maybe they have their own ideologies that they say, like, oh, there's no such thing as like, don't stress yourself out. Like, it doesn't matter. Just go through it. Like, don't waste your time stressing and stuff like that. Maybe sometimes, there's a lot of negative aspects that adults
Yeah,
try to
that
push
is
on to us.
very
Yeah.
true.
Hmm. So, how do you think that you personally, you specifically, can make a difference in the world?
Hmm. I feel that it all starts from speaking up. Sometimes
Mm.
you restrict yourself way too many times by not sharing your opinion and grounding
Uh-huh.
yourself. And that's when you become a people pleaser. That's when you start to be socially acceptable. And that's also kind of when you start to lose your own personality and that spark. So it
Mm.
all just starts from making sure your opinion is heard and seen.
Wow. And is there a specific topic that you deeply care about that you would like to educate people on?
Currently, it is about political issues
Okay.
because politics is almost what has the world in a grasp.
Mm.
And sometimes politics is corrupt, sometimes it's good. You need to show both of the examples with evidence so that people know what to trust and what not to trust.
Yeah, that's true. It's definitely true. It's something that I think people are talking about now more than ever
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much happening. And that's like all you hear people talk about.
Exactly, most of the
And
time.
so, yeah. And so, is there, I have one last question for you, and that
Mm-hmm.
is what is something that you are still learning about?
I want to say myself because I feel like I didn't, since I'm just 15, I didn't complete my whole life yet. And I have no
Mm-hmm.
idea what things are going to be like for me in the future. Right now, I'm just finding out as much as I can about my own identity, what I want to do, what I like, what I hate, so that I can just adapt when I grow up.
Okay, wow, okay. That's true. That I think that's a really good thing. You're getting a head start early
Mm-hmm.
on. So before we wrap things out, is there any message that you'd love to give to our audience watching? Just look into the camera and say whatever you want.
The message I want to give to the audience is make sure you don't let any opportunity go away from you. Grab every opportunity you can and share as much as you can so that people can get inspired by you. That's it.
Wow, great advice. Very good advice. Sound advice. And so that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. And this conversation was just amazing. I love talking to you.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you too.
Oh, girl. And so if you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, comment. She said some really, really good things. And I will see all of you in our next episode. Bye bye.